Support. Give me a subscribe. Hello and welcome to day 25. 25 days into this amazing experiment that is RPG a day 2020. Thank you again to the people who sponsored this, Autocratic and Runeslinger, and the brilliant idea of tossing this out there and forcing all of us to be creative and support this. Thank you. And to each and every one of you who took part of it, thank you. Today is day 25. The word is lever. Lever. Oh, the lever, Kronk! Why do we even have that lever? So when I think lever, obviously I think traps and tricks and strangeness and bizarre things that you find in a dungeon that should for no reason whatsoever be in a dungeon. We've already discussed the fact that most dungeon traps do not make sense because nobody would build this. Really, why would you do this? But except when the whole point of the tricks and traps and doohickeys and Rube Goldberg mechanics is to not make sense and is to see how far you can push the silliness of RPG dungeons, especially in the milieu that is Dungeons & Dragons, which of course means what I think is one of the best dungeons ever made, White Plume Mountain. And why do I think White Plume Mountain is one of the best dungeons ever made? Since most people think it's a silly funhouse that makes no sense and has a bizarre power creep and is equal chances to kill everybody in the party as have them walking off with 3 of the most powerful legendary artifacts in D&D history. But I think it's the best on several reasons. First, because it is filled with a series of tricks and traps and puzzles that make absolutely no sense, that are totally ridiculous to the point of being a funhouse, where there actually is a vortex tunnel in the dungeon, you know, the spinning tunnel with the lines, and it has, you know, it makes you feel dizzy and it looks like you're moving, but really everything's moving around you. And there's a log flume. There is a freaking log flume ride in White Plume Mountain where there's got the stream that's floating in the air for no reason that goes into the dark. You put a boat in it. You go down the thing. Ding, 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 ding. You come into this room where you get attacked by Sir Bluto Sans Piet and his men. Why is that there? No reason whatsoever. There's absolutely no reason why there's a log flume in the ride other than it's cool. Other than the guy who built the dungeon, this crazy wizard Carapatus, built it for the whole reason because he wanted people to come. He's basically testing out the ideas of funhouse / amusement park in Dungeons & Dragons turn. He challenged people to come. He said, I made the most ridiculous, overpowered, strangest dungeon I could think of to test you. If you survive the test, you get the stuff back. If you don't survive the test, well, you die, and I get to take your stuff. And if you somehow make it halfway through, I've got these guys whose job it is to go back through and fix it. And if you do succeed in getting the stuff back that I stole, congratulations. Though I'm probably going to still try and get them back from you just so I can test the next group. Sorry, I have a headache. The weather. So, yeah, White Plume Mountain is the best original dungeon with levers and traps and tricks and ridiculousness for the whole reason that that's why he built it. And if the whole reason to put the traps and the tricks and the ridiculousness in the dungeon is to challenge people to come and see if my creations actually work, and then if they do work, great, I can, like, you know, start selling them to other wizards and stuff like that. It's not about the fact that Carapatus stole Black Razor and Wavenwell, which is a whole other topic. It's the fact that he tested himself to build this utterly ridiculous monstrosity of things that make absolutely no sense for the whole purpose of then inviting adventurers to come and test it, to see if they could survive, to see if they could make it through, to see if they could get the prizes. It is a theme park. It is a game show. It is a challenge where this wizard, lich, god, whatever is saying, sure, come on, go through my volcano, Go across my lava pit with the swinging pendulums of doom. Make your way to the log flume ride. Go down the spinning pit. Fight the giant ghost crab. Go down the inverted zoo pyramid of death. And what's your reward? 3 artifacts that belong to other people. So even if you get them, you're supposed to give them back, which is the other topic of why White Plume Mountain is so great. White Plume Mountain is so great because it's an insurance scam. It is the first ever example of an insurance scam in Dungeons and Dragons. Because the whole premise is this wizard, Capertus, steals these 3 objects, these 3 iconic objects that are basically D&D ripoffs of other iconic objects. We have Whelm, a dwarven hammer, which is basically a ripoff of Thor's hammer. We have Wave, which is a unbelievably bizarre trident magic item that is a ripoff of Poseidon's trident. And we have Black Razor, a soul-sucking sword, which is a total ripoff of Elric of Melboron's sword, Stormbringer. So these 3 are magic items. And Carapatus, the wizard, has stolen them. And he's challenged the player characters to come get them. And the people who previously owned them hire the player characters to solve the riddles and retrieve the magic items. They then claim, oh, we want them back. And if you don't bring them back to us, we'll do something. And the module is very vague at the end of what the original owners will do if the player characters don't bring back the 3 items. In fact, as D&D history has shown us, several individuals throughout D&D history have had those items, and a couple of the items have even reappeared in other modules or in other adventures. Omen Drawn from Acquisitions Incorporated has Whelm, the hammer from White Plume Mountain. So obviously, even though the owners claim that they'll do something if the player characters don't bring the items back, it's very vague at the end of the modules what it is they will do. And really, most of the times the players don't return them because the 3 items are freaking cool. I mean, especially, Black Razor. Who wouldn't want Stormbringer, a sword-sucking soul that eventually kills you? Though my favorite is Wave because it's just so ridiculous. So, obviously, it's an insurance scam. The owners were in on it. Why were the owners in on it? Because it's such an outrageous robbery. If the guy was really going to steal them, he wouldn't leave, ridiculous Batman-like clues. He wouldn't challenge people to come and retrieve them. If you steal something, you don't want people to come and get it back. You don't want superpowered murder hobos coming to your dungeon and stealing it back. Support me, Venom. I will shill for you. This is probably why I have headaches. No. And you certainly don't go out of your way to build a funhouse amusement park of doom and then say, oh, come and get them. And if you do get them, oh, well, congratulations. I guess I won't do that much of anything to punish you. It's because it's an insurance scam, because the owners were in on it, because they know chances are the player characters are not going to return them. They're going to keep them. And then they can say, oh, we had Black Razor insured for 25,000 gold pieces. It was stolen. We never got it back. We don't know where those guys are. Sure, we'll put a bounty on their heads, but now you have to pay us 25,000 gold pieces because you promised us my magic item would be protected, and it was stolen by this crazy dude. So, yeah, it's an insurance scam. So not only is White Plume Mountain the perfect example of why traps don't make sense, but if you are going to put traps in your dungeon that don't make sense, then just go outrageous and totally make them not make sense. Go for the ridiculous. Don't just have a pit trap. If you can have a pit trap that falls 20 feet into a giant gelatinous cube of green jello and make people think it's a gelatinous cube, but really it's green jello, and the only way out is to eat your way out of the green jello, and cascading waterfalls and a log flume. White Plume Mountain has a frickin' log ride in it. It just right there makes it the greatest adventure ever. So, yes, if you're you're going to do traps, do White Plume Mountain level of ridiculousness traps. White Plume Mountain is an insurance scam. The owners knew that Career Participants was going to steal it. They knew the chances are the player characters weren't going to bring the magic items back. They make a half-hearted attempt to get them back. Career makes a half-hearted attempt to get them back. Oh no, you almost got away. I'll send some minions to stop you. Oh, whoops, those guys got killed. Oh, darn. Because he's getting paid under the counter by the owners of the magic items, and the owners of the magic items are getting paid by the insurance company because, they got stolen and you weren't able to protect them. It's an insurance scam. It's the first insurance scam in D&D history right there. It makes it another reason why it's the greatest module ever. Lever. Pull the lever, Kronk. Talk to you later.